Shalom to you. Gidon Ariel here with Pastor Al Latta after, was it days, weeks, months, years since we've spoken? It sure seems that way.
2 or 3 months, probably. Yes. How are you doing?
3 months! Oh my gosh!
Maybe.
Oh my. Oh, I miss you, man.
Oh, bless you. Well, a lot has happened, I'm sure, on your end.
Well, everything happens. This is Israel, don't forget.
Yes, for sure.
What's going on your end? I understand that you went to, I just spoke to our friend Al. Al, you're Al. I just spoke to our friend Ann Stacy.
Oh, yes, the one and only, the bridge
And
holder Ann. Yes.
yes, Bezrat Hashem, I'm going to have a conversation with her also finally. Imagine that. Like
Yes.
we have. She told me that you were in Nashville in at
Yeah.
the, so tell me what that was and how it was.
Well, it was something put on by Hayavel, the Israel guys, and Israel 365. That's how I understand it. The Israel guys were impressive. They're young guys related to Hayavel, and they have a very popular daily podcast, I think,
Wow.
with reports from the land. Um, so they scheduled it at the airport hotel, the Sonoma. I don't remember the name of the hotel, but a hotel with a convention center there by the airport. And the hotel began to get threatening texts and emails. And it was a concern to them for their own security. So they canceled the reservation, broke their contract, and asked them to go elsewhere.
It's crazy.
So when the news broke, man, a guy named Robert Stern, who's based there in Nashville, he's a messianic leader and singer. He's like an opera singer. He
Robert Stearns,
Robert Stearns, yes, he began
he's
to
based in New
rant.
York.
Okay, well, maybe I have his name wrong. I want to say David, but I think it was Robert. Anyway, he began to rant and rave. Somebody needs to call Dave Ramsey. Somebody needs to call Dave Ramsey. And
Ah,
Dave Ramsey responded and said, yes, you can have it at my place, which is a suburb, a good sized suburb named Franklin, Tennessee. And he's the financial guy, helps people pay off their debts.
sure. He
And
certainly paid off his debts, I'll tell you that much.
yeah, he
You
has
don't got to
quite
worry about debts.
he has quite a campus, 1,000 employees, and a hospitality crew that wouldn't quit in his own convention center. And
Wow.
this is their first non-Dave Ramsey event to host. And they rolled out the red carpet, and the parking lots are all scattered about the campus. So they ran golf carts,
That's
driving us
amazing.
from our vehicles. It was wonderful. And so no threatening protesters showed up there. It was too far spread out. They would be exposed. So anyway, so it was a glorious time, and I think the event grew from the controversy. More people registered to go, so I think it was bigger.
Controversy always grows things.
Yeah, so some guys Rabbi Eli and others were speakers, and it was tremendous.
How many people were there, do you think?
Um, they didn't brag about how big they were, but it was, I don't know. I think there were 400 people at the banquet, which, you clear the floor, bring in tables, you can seat less people. So there's way more people there than 400, maybe 700. I'm not sure.
Very nice.
Don't quote me on it.
I was
But
at it. I was at a Ohio dinner in Dallas,
yes,
well, many years ago. Maybe there were 200 people there, but it was just an evening. How long was this event?
this started on a it started on an evening and ended with a concert of some sort. No, ended with a movie. And then all day the next day and that evening ended with a dinner, I believe. No, it started in the morning. It was 2 full days and ended with a concert the first evening and a dinner the second evening. And
They didn't do the night before entry something special, or at least you weren't there.
I wasn't there. I think they did, yes.
That makes
But
sense.
Yair Levi, was
Yeah,
the
you're Levy.
yeah, Levy. Phenomenal music and music we sing at church, so we worship together. And then a real highlight for me,
Wait. He played music that you sing at church?
yes, the song "How Great Is Our God." How great is our
I
God?
know that song.
Yes, yeah. A young Texan guy named Chris Tomlin wrote that song years ago. Yeah. So anyway, sang
Wait a
song
second,
again.
wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. And Yair Levy played that song.
Yes, and a couple other songs too. That man, the crowd was just singing up a storm. It was phenomenal. And then a highlight for me at the end was Robert Stearns came up and joined him. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes, it
He's
was
got a wonderful
amazing.
voice.
Yes, yeah. So and Stacy paid my registration and hotel room.
Oh, that's very kind.
And we paid our way there and paid for our meals that weren't served there. But because it got moved, we got some food as well. So there at the event. So it was better than at the hotel. Um, but it was jam-packed with speaker after speaker, panel discussions, and films. They just kept it moving, kept it moving. And
Do you have a copy of the event itinerary?
I can find it. Yes. Yeah, I'll
Yeah, I'd
find
love
it.
to see it. I'd love to see it.
Pictures. Yes. Yeah. The most powerful speaker, though. I mean, they were all great. Pascal was incredible. They were all incredible. But Michelle Bachmann blew our minds. What a champion for Israel and the history of the world. And yeah, every time she spoke, it was stunning. In fact, I have her speaking at the banquet on my phone. When I get it uploaded, I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
She was amazing.
It's a shame she's not a Democrat. I understand the Democrats are searching for somebody to be the presidential
Yeah, they need to.
candidate.
They need to. They need to. I imagine their convention is going to be exciting.
Exciting, like a Chinese curse.
Yes, yes. It's not going to be a boring convention. No rubber stamping will be at that one.
Woo. When is their convention going to
Uh,
be?
I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not a wealth of information today.
You're not a Democrat. You're not a Democratic delegate, are you?
No, I have a couple of friends that are going to the Republican convention, and I don't
Uh,
even know when that is. So yeah,
the
I
the
went to the one
the
we had.
the dynamic will be very different at those two conventions. I can tell you that one.
Yes. So also, since we've spoken, Pascal.
Who's
No.
Pascal?
What's the Hebrew word for Passover? Pashe?
Pesach.
Yeah, Pesach.
Pesach
Will
Maliki.
Wilovicki preached for us on a Sunday morning.
Where at your church?
Yes. Oh my God. And all my friends in the ministry said that's the smartest thing you have ever done. What happened was Israel 365 contacted me, a rabbi named Rami, said,
Rami Greenberg.
yeah, Pashe's coming. Can he speak for you on a Sunday? I says, no, that would be a conflict of interest. We couldn't do that, but we could have a pro-Israel event that afternoon, blah, blah,
Why?
blah.
Why would it be a conflict of interest?
Uh,
Because your interest is to be Christian and his interest is to be Jewish. Is that what you meant?
yeah, and the gospel and Jesus Christ, the Messiah, things like that. Well, the more we talk, Rabe is good, man. Rami is. We began to talk about the gender thing and the concerns we have for our culture that we have in common with Jews in Israel. And before it was over with, I was asking, please, can Pashe contact me? So we spoke that day. Pashe shared what he could talk about from Genesis 1 in the Hebrew language.
Pesach. Pesach.
Pesach. Pesach. Yes. So before it was done, I was asking Pesach, let's schedule. So he scheduled and he came, worship with us, and he gave the message. I'll send you the link. It was phenomenal.
Oh,
Phenomenal.
you videotaped it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I can't wait to see that.
Really good. On creation, male and female, and the Hebrew letters for God's name and man and woman, Ish and Isha. Yeah, it was just beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Everyone loved it. It was really
And
good.
the amazing thing is, as you know, that which is so mind-blowing is basic for us
Yes,
Jews.
yes, 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 yes. It's the beginning, right?
That's right.
You visit it every year. Yes, it's good.
We visit it every year, and it's the first thing we learn pretty much in the alphabet. You know,
Yeah.
because the Hebrew alphabet, I'm not going to repeat what I'm sure he said in his
No,
sermon.
repeat it again. We need to hear it again.
The word for man in Hebrew, in the Bible, right there in, I think in chapter 1, maybe chapter 2,
Yes.
is ish.
Ish.
And the word for woman is isha.
Yes.
Because the Bible, it says, because from man this one was taken. So ish and isha, you can hear they're connected.
Yes.
But the rabbis say ish and isha, there are two letters
Yes.
that they are not the same in. It's the word ish has the word ish has three letters.
Yes.
Aleph, Yud, Shin, if you will. A Y S H is a letter, so it's Aish, and the woman has a hey or an H at the end. So I'm not gonna bother playing with it. I'm sure that I'll bet he used a whiteboard or something like that.
He had PowerPoint slides.
PowerPoint slides, exactly. So I don't right now. I'm not gonna spend time trying to do it. So there are two letters that these two words have in common. That is Aleph and Shin. The word Ish has an extra Yud, that's the middle letter. And the word Isha drops the middle letter. You don't need it. It's a constant, it's a vowel that you manage without. I'm not going to go into Hebrew right now. The last word is Hey, which is, hey, okay. So the letters that they have in common are Aleph and Shin, A and SH,
Yeah.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
letters that they don't have in common are Yud and Hey.
Yes.
Yud and Hey, so in Hebrew, is a name of God. Yeah, you know that. You know, hallelujah. Yeah, that's one of the shortest name of God. And Aleph and Shin together, the other two letters, spell Ish, which means fire. And
Yeah.
so that means that and the rabbis say that if a man and a woman merit, then God is between them. But if
Wow.
they don't merit, then fire eats them up.
Wow.
I'm sure that he
That's
stated
good.
that.
Well, all I knew was some humor.
Some humor.
When the first man, Ish, saw the first woman, he said, Isha.
Yesha.
Saw how beautiful she was. Isha. Yeah, it was really good. Really
Now
good.
I just thought of something a little bit more advanced and surprising, and it's also surprising I only thought of it now. Because the letter H at the end of a word, usually at the end of a place, means towards, like to.
Two. Okay.
Like when Joseph asked that man, "Where are my brothers? I'm looking for my brothers." He said they went to Dotan. You might remember that. Dothan.
Okay.
But the Hebrew word is Dotaina. Hemalchu Dotaina. They went Dotaina, Dotana. So the hey, and it's is the hey at the letter at the end of the word
Right.
is another way of putting a lamed at the beginning of the word. Lamed at the beginning of the word means two. So le. Um, I'm trying to think of Chevrona. I live near Chevron.
Okay.
So Chevrona is to Chevron, or you could say le Chevron, to Chevron. Same thing. So
Okay.
Isha
is go to the
It
woman.
says in the Bible, her name was Isha because she came from man.
Okay.
You remember with the rib and all that? But actually, the word Isha doesn't mean from man, it means to man. It does.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know what to say because it's the first time that I said that in a way that my brain picked that up. That why did God say, I think it was God said, we'll call this one Isha. Let me see if I can quickly find it in my Bible 1 second. I mean, thankfully it's like on the first or second page. And
I think Adam may have declared it.
yes, Adam himself said, and Adam said, I'm reading the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 23, and the man or Adam said, this time a bone from my bones and flesh from my flesh. To this one, or this one shall be called Isha, because from man this one was taken.
Okay. Wow.
Her name should have been Meish, not Isha. Now,
Okay.
the fact is that the hey, that letter H at the end of the word does not only mean towards. If I were to ask somebody just out of the blue, what does an H or a hey at the end of a word mean? Oh, they would say very simple. It means the feminine version of the masculine word that doesn't have an H or a hey at the end of the word. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
What does that mean? A lot of the word, a Hebrew word, Hebrew is a much easier. Believe it or not, it's a much easier language than English because it's a very gender specific language, like many languages besides English. And so if a word is masculine, it's masculine. If it's feminine, it's feminine. You don't have words that are in between. So if you have a word like now, really, most of the words that are popping into my head have a tav at the end of them. But here, that's not going to work either. Here, Talmid. Talmid is a student. You with me?
Yes.
Talmid is a student. It comes from Lamed, Lamed Mem, Dalid, Lamed. That's learn. So Talmid is a student. Talmidah is a female student.
Okay.
Yeled, most famously, is a little child or a boy. Yalda is a girl.
Okay.
Ish, Isha.
So,
Chaver is a friend. Chavera. So it's pretty easy. I'm not going to go into it completely because sometimes it's also a tav at the end, a different letter. But pretty much it'll be a pretty good guess if you see a word in Hebrew and you add a hey to the end of it, that means it's a feminine. It's the feminine form of that word. Like Kelev is a male dog. Kalba is a female dog. Chatul, chatula. Get the idea?
yeah, you
All right.
get that in Spanish.
Oh,
Senor, senora.
exactly. That kind of thing. So so it's clear that Isha is the initial introduction of that rule in Hebrew.
Yes.
But I'm saying, what about that other kind of hey? You're saying it's from man, but it means also to man. And that, I think, is beautiful.
Yes.
Because the relationship between man and woman, again, man and wife, are you coming from your spouse or are you going to your spouse? And the answer is, I'm both.
Yeah.
That is the best relationship that you're going to have. That you're both here because of your spouse And you're also always thinking about going to your spouse.
Yes.
Beautiful idea.
According to, I think it's Genesis 5, it does a bit of a recap of the beginning of the human race, says that God made them male and female and he named them Adam. So could it be that God named her Adam and then Adam, after the fall, blaming her for the problem, gave her a separate name?
That's not what my Bible says. My Bible specifically says the very verse. You remember that famous story? I mean, it's one of the most famous stories. How a woman was created. That man gave names to all the animals in the beginning, long time ago. Just like what's his name, Bob Dylan sings, and he gave him all sorts of names, but he didn't find a helpmate for himself.
Right.
So God, that was verse 20 in chapter 2. Chapter 21, so God lay down asleep upon
Right.
man, and he slept, and he took one of man's sides, ribs, if you will, and he closed it up with a flesh under it, something like that. And God built from this bone, this rib that was taken from the man, created a woman, and he brought him to man. So actually, I was wrong. Adam didn't create that name. God, or the Bible writes already that he that he was an Isha. So God didn't say, here, Adam, here is Isha. But that's what the Bible says that he did. You know,
Right.
if you were to bring to me, here, Gidon, here's a pen. Or you could just hand me the pen, and the narrator of the story will say, and Alan passed Gidon a pen. But even
Yeah.
if you don't say anything, you just present it without any words. So that's what happened here. The Bible in verse 22 said that God, I'm not skipping over certain things. I don't want to focus on them. God created that side that was taken from man into a woman. La Isha. Li Isha. And he brought him to man. And the man said, this time it's a bone for my bones and a flesh for my flesh. This one shall be called, future tense. Of course, Hebrew tense, the Hebrew tenses are fudgeable, so it's actually future and present. This one shall be called Isha, because from man, from Ish, this one was taken.
Yes. But what I was referring to was chapter 5, verse 2.
This is the story of the generations of man on the day that God created man in the image of God. He did him or made him. Male and female, he created them. And he blessed them. And he called their name
Adam.
Adam on the day that they were born, on the day that they were created. Yes.
Yeah.
God did not name the woman Isha. Adam did.
Right.
God evidently named them Adam
Right.
because, and that's what, and we skipped a few verses from the very beginning. One second. I'm looking for the verse that said he created man from land. And there you go again.
Yes.
Man was created from the earth, right?
Right.
Maybe it's in the previous chapter. One second. Yohashishi. Now it says also in chapter 1, verse 27.
Right.
You're jumping over there. And God created Adam in his image, in the image of God, he created him. Man and female, he created them. So that verse only talks about Adam. So yes, he created male and female and called them Adam.
Yes. He named them Adam, and then Adam named her Isha. And then after the fall, so they had all this commonality in identity and name. And after the fall, he gives her a functional name, Eve. He had
Let's
her,
see who called him Eve. That's very interesting.
Adam named her Eve.
1 second. Yep, that's right. Functional.
Yes.
The Eve, of course, is you have to know Hebrew to understand what you just said. What's functional about Eve? Well, we're going to a function tonight at the evening,
Yes.
so we'll make sure you get dressed up. No,
He
no,
said
Eve.
because she was a mother of all living. So
You still, unless you know Hebrew, you're not going. It doesn't give it to you.
yes.
The word in Hebrew is not Eve; it's Chava.
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 Okay.
And the letter Vav in the middle switches with the letter Yud. So it's like Chaya. And Chaya comes from the word Chai, and Chai means live.
Okay.
But there you go again. The last word there, the last letter of Chava is Hey. Again, it's the feminine form, but it's also La Chai. In other words, she is going towards life.
Okay.
Amazing. I have to talk to about somebody about this because I've never seen this before, but it's jumping out. It's screaming from the text that the feminine suffix is used as also the directional, if you will, suffix in place of the directional prefix, which is a lamed.
Yes.
Anyway, and it said that before. But where does it say that man was called man?
In 127. Yeah.
27?
God created Adam in his own image.
But it doesn't say.
He named him Adam until chapter 5, verse 2.
No. I'm trying to, just 1 second. Yeah.
Let us make
No. I'm looking. I'm 1 second. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it in Hebrew. One second. No, I don't see it. What I'm trying to say is that his name, Adam, is Adam because he came from the Adamah. Adamah is land.
right.
But there you go again. Did he come from the land or is he going to the land? And maybe that's what it says over there at the end of that, where at his curse. Yes. Chapter 3, verse 19. With the sweat of thy brow thou shalt eat bread. You with me?
Yes.
Until your return to the land, to the ground, to the earth. However you pronounce it there.
Adama?
Adamah.
Come on.
Because from it you were taken. because dust you are, and to dust you shall return. So it doesn't say there very clearly that he was named Adam because he came from the ground, but it certainly says you were taken from the ground.
Yes.
But the amazing thing is that no. It's not true. It's not that Adam was what he's called Me Adama, but Adama means to Adam. It means land. But
Okay.
the way I'm explaining it, and probably I'm not doing a good job, it means to Adam, to man. So the land itself, the very word land, has within it its nature, its point of being for man. In other words, the whole earth, the whole universe was created to or for man.
Yes.
La Adam, Adama. As opposed to the woman, Isha, and there it says that Adam was taken from the land. So if Adam comes from the land, so the land is going to Adam. That we can understand. But
Okay.
with a woman, it says she was named to man because she came from man. No, if she came from man, she should have been called from man, not to man. Get it? But the Bible, again, people might pish posh me and say, "What are you talking about, Gidon? It doesn't mean to man; it means woman, feminine version of man. That's what the hey at the end means." That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm going to look into it. Maybe I'll talk to some people about it. But that whole idea that feminine and masculine, which in English, whoever thinks about it at all, it comes from Greek or Latin or I don't know where, masculine, feminine. Well, who cares? Well, I know it when I see it. But in Hebrew, which is God's language, it is very significant. Here we're saying that all masculine, all feminine, and all masculine, they're related. They're related. And not only are they related, they have their relationship is dynamic. That one is going to the other, one is coming from the other.
Yes.
Just amazing.
Very interesting.
So I don't think he said all of that because, like I said, it's the first time I ever heard that ever. But the idea of the fire and the God, that is very basic.
Yes. No, he didn't say all that I had said. I was just interjecting some thoughts I've had in the
No,
past.
I
God
guessed
named
that that's what he
Adam,
said.
Adam named her Isha. Yeah. And then Adam named her Eve after he was cursed.
Yeah. We don't have time to think all about that. That is fascinating stuff.
Yes. Beautiful.
Well, listen. Um, yeah, so that's what's going on over there at your church with pass. I bet that he's got a pretty open invitation now.
Well, he said he
Anytime
wants
it's
to
around, I'm coming into town. Great. Come on in on Sunday morning.
he said he wants to come back and do the 23rd Psalm, which after you and I discussed that a few months ago, that was mind-blowing, a beautiful understanding. Yeah, I'm open to that as well. So
Oh yeah. And that's what's so amazing about the Torah is that he's going to say things that are totally different than what I had to say.
yes. Yeah, it's
Just
interesting.
amazing. So how many people were at his as his sermon?
Oh, there's a couple hundred people here. Yes. Uh-huh.
Did you say we're having a special guest speaker, Rabbi Pesach Waliki?
Yeah, we published it a couple weeks in advance, and
And
you
so
know,
people said, "Ooh, I want to hear this."
yeah, well, with announcements, people sometimes tune you out. Oh, more announcements, So I try to keep them just down to two or three announcements. So Yeah.
Did
So
anybody, do you think, not show up because they said, I don't want to hear no Jew guy talking?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's the
I'm,
church down the street, maybe.
my preaching would have thinned them out by now. So yeah,
By this point, they're hearing him.
moved on. Yeah.
But well, listen, I will keep that in mind the next time I'm in Dallas. I'm not going to let Rabbi Pesach Wallachie upstage me.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about it. When do you think you'll be back?
I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. I was just, as you know, I was in the United States in October, way
Okay.
back in October.
Okay.
And we were preparing for that event, for that visit for months. I had a whole team working on it to have the Root Source Gala, which I'm pretty sure you were there, right? At
Yes. Yes. I
the
drove
home
the
of
van
the
to and from the
Sarvati.
parking. Yes.
Right, right, right. Oh, that's right. That's right. Um, but and now I was just invited. My niece got married, so I went to America for her wedding. And
Okay.
if it was already there, I did a few other trips. So I again prepared for it for weeks and weeks, but it wasn't as successful as I would have hoped that it would be. You
Oh,
know, I'm a nonprofit. I'm a nonprofit organization. I run a nonprofit organization.
okay.
Responsibility, my fiscal responsibility is to raise money to find people who are fascinated by Root Source's vision and mission and want to take part in that. So I spread that word. I use those words or similar words dozens of times. I was there for like 2 weeks. I was in Dallas. I was in Dallas for one day. I just came for Anne's event at Nishmat Am at that college, university, whatever it was. So I was one day in Dallas, then 2 days in Denver, then 2 days in Chicago, then 4 days in New York. That was where the wedding was. Then 2 days in Panama City,
Okay.
and then another 2 3 days in Florida. The wedding party flew down to Florida. And everywhere that I was meeting with people, I was saying, yeah, nonprofit, vision, mission. If you agree, want your shit. I didn't get a single dime the whole trip. Did you ever?
Oh my goodness. Well, with the war in the forefront of people's minds, if they were going to give towards the cause of Israel, they had other avenues.
Maybe. Well, nobody told me that. They were saying, listen, this guy came all the way from Israel. He spent thousands of dollars to come here. Come on, pony up. No, but I'm not complaining. I know it's all in God's hand and all in God's time. Talking about God's time, as I believe I told you before we met, I have I'm teaching my nephew. Well, he's not really my nephew. He's my wife's cousin's, I don't know what.
Ah,
A young
nephew.
man, a young man, 12 years old. He's going to be bar mitzvah. He's going to have his bar mitzvah in about April. And so he has to study the Torah portion so that he can read it in public. So I have to hurry up and go to him. So I'm going to say thank you now. I wish we could meet again, not just once in a month,
Yes.
but we'll see. Maybe I'll call you up once. And usually this is Monday morning, right? So Monday morning with
Yes.
a little bit more preparation, you might be able to hop on a call.
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind because sometimes other people cancel.
Mondays are good. So yeah.
Okay, we'll talk, sir.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Shalom.